Hey friends, I'm back with a new video. Today we're drawing something delicious, so come and join me. Since it's getting warmer outside, I felt inspired to draw a delicious breakfast. With these lovely temperatures, it's perfect for eating in the garden or on your balcony again. So I hope you enjoy this video. I decided to go with eggs on toasted bread, sprinkled with some greens. As you can see, I'm starting with the greens and I'm just laying down the basic colors to get a feeling for where all the colors have to go. With markers, I actually feel like it's the easiest if you just color in the main spaces with the basic color you have for that. Or even take a color and color in the whole background, because then it's easier to figure out the vibe of the painting. For lo-fi paintings, for example, I would always go in with a warm color at first, color in the whole painting and then layer all the other colors, because the other colors are layering differently than on white paper and you get the warm feeling over the whole painting. I hope the weather is also getting warmer and brighter where you live, because where I live, all of May was really rainy, and still now in June we still have very rainy days and it's kind of dark. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoy some rainy days where you can cozy up with a blanket and everything, but I was missing warmer days. I was missing the summer, eating outside, going touch grass and everything. I actually wanted the egg yolk to look like it's still kinda runny. That's why I headed for this darker orange. And right now this is looking kinda awful because the transition is kinda hard, but I hope I can fix that with blending, I guess. But with markers, that's always a kind of trust the process thing, because you can always fix stuff with either going in with your white Posca pen or something and make highlights over stuff you just fucked up, or you can just go in with darker colors and make another shadow or something, and then most stuff can be fixed. And now as I'm layering down the shadow for the bread, or the crust of the bread, I actually saw that the main part of the bread is way too light, because it just looks like golden toast, and I wanted some like crusty German bread. Something that's slightly toasted and actually golden brown, not like white wheat toast. I was actually really struggling with the pores of the bread, because I thought I would either make them too big or too small, and if they're too big it seems like the bread was ripped open, and if they're too small I was scared that the bread would look like it's just a sponge or something. So yeah, as you can see, that's why I actually just continued with shadowing and making the crust a little bit darker so I can see where this goes, and I think it fixed it kind of. I mean, I cheated my way to success, but if it works, right? And now that we have the darkest parts actually laid down on the painting, I start with the lighter parts from the egg and I was really scared to do those, because if you like reach for a gray that is too dark, you cannot easily fix it, because egg white is kind of white, right? I actually needed quite a long time to choose the grays I wanted to use for shading my egg white, because I didn't want it to be too much on the blue side, but also didn't want it to be a brown. So yeah, you can see what I went for. And then I actually shaded something with a violet mauve color, and that made it actually quite vibrant. But yeah, it was scary, I can tell you. And now that the eggs and the bread is actually finished, I can now go in and color in the leaves I just laid down in my pastel green color, and give them a little bit of depth too. And with the green, I obviously went for the same tactics. I just gradually increased the darkness of the greens I took, and then always added a little bit more shading so that the leaves look more real, I guess. Yeah, and sometimes if you love your painting, you should just leave it that way. And I didn't do that. And I just proceeded with adding shadows, because I thought, well, it's kind of genius to not have a floating egg toast and put a plate below that, but my plate looked like it got crashed in another dimension and then distorted out of that, and now it's perspectively, yeah, let's call it a mistake. So I would actually suggest that we collectively decide that we just ignore this plate for the rest of this video, and we just continue with adding pepper, because yeah, I did this with my pencils, and I think it's really cool to just add pencil onto marker paintings, illustrations. They're not actually called paintings, right? Or are they? Huh. I'm going to look that up later. Yeah. I think that going in with fine liners or pencils after finishing a piece with markers really helps define the drawing. It makes the edges sharper and makes it much easier to add texture to my illustrations that I think isn't that much possible with just using markers. Plus, using different tools adds more depth and dimension to my artworks, I think, and you can really emphasize certain areas and create more contrast. Yeah, you can also compensate colors you don't really have with markers and just add them in with pencil later, or add a little bit more shading and something like that. And I also really love how it allows me to refine small details that might get lost when using just markers. So yeah, I think it's a really great way to polish a painting, and it's almost as essential as using highlights, I think. Okay, maybe I'm lying, maybe it's actually more essential, but I just really enjoy doing highlights. And with that, we're basically done. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you to have a cozy, delicious breakfast. Maybe that you take time for yourself at the weekend and just have a cozy, quiet morning for yourself, or with your partner, with your friends, and just enjoy slow life, because time is going by way too fast. So have a really nice time, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye!